Come here real quick. All right, if this is true here, then this whole third anniversary, Three Fates drama reward stuff is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit different this time. Now, as you know, 4.4 is out already, and you know, like it is with some patches, it's a pretty bare bones patch. I mean, the events overview is here's some new world bosses and a new area to go look at. No events unlocked yet, which, like I said, it's kind of par for the course for Genshin Impact, and you can go try out the new characters as well in the test run. And if you come in here, you'll have some fun with Cloud Retainer as well as gaming. They're a pretty cool, amazing duo. I do want to point out that Serpent Spine is on this character for some reason, which is, I think it's a good thing. But I don't know the last time like I've come into a trial mode to test out the new 4-star character and they actually had like decent gear on, right? They have Crimson Witch of the Flames in a vaporized setup. There's Serpent Spine on them, which is like the best 4-star claymore for a DPS, basically, period. It doesn't even suffer the downside of losing stacks. Of those of you who don't know, for characters who lose HP with the Fontaine HP loss mechanic, you still maintain all your stacks that way. You don't have to lose them, so it works on him as well. And Xiangyang, the Cloud Retainer, is a cool character, right? She's a side grade to Jean in a lot of ways. She's got some fantastic things you can do with her as well. She's pretty interesting to play with this jumping around mechanic, as you can see, and have fun with in here. And you can open yourself up to a lot of new sort of interesting ways to play Genshin. Now, are they better? That's a different pill to swallow, right? Are they better ways to play the game, or are they just new ways to play the game? Now, with gaming, you can do some pretty cool things with her, with a bunch of plunging attacks with your boy gaming. You can jump up or over, do a bunch of damage, keep going, doing a bunch of whirlwinds. It's a pretty fun way to play Genshin Impact. But is this going to be something that you need to have access to? I would reckon and say no. No, you don't need Cloud Retainer. She's not going to be a part of a ton of different teams in Genshin. A lot of her kit isn't really going to be useful to a lot of different team members and party members you can use. There's going to be some people, yeah, you can do like a Diluc plunging attack, right? They have a lot of plunging attack bonuses. Outside of basically ham-fisting her into a team to make people do bonus plunging attack damage, you can use her as like a cool Jean +1, right? She's going to be able to wear that Viridescent and Venra set. That's going to be cool. And then just like with Jean, she's got the ability to heal. Jean can heal bigger amounts of healing up front, but then you have Cloud Retainer, who has the big heal up front and also has healing over time as well. So she's not like an awful character, but I will say that I'm not like super enthused with having like a Jean 2.0 on my account, and so I'm probably not going to do anything at all in Genshin 4.4 because of the main thing I want to talk about. But here's the main thing I want to talk about. This is a big one for me. Now, according to a Chinese creator who wishes to remain anonymous, we have to take this as a grain of salt, right? This could just be hullabaloo, whatever. But if this is true, and there are some pictures we're going to go over, then this is a big thing to me. Hoyoverse is aware of player discontent, but instead of doing something about it, they're actively taking videos down of smaller creators talking about the issue on Chinese TikTok. Now, this is about that Three Fates. Genshin hasn't really changed a whole lot of stuff, quality of life. That entire conversation you've probably heard already before. If you haven't heard this conversation before, you can go check out the video we just dropped out yesterday or something on the matter, and you can get full details there. Now, this is a big one because if Hoyoverse is aware of player discontent, this is the meme of, we've done 5 million different surveys, feedback, 3 surveys per patch, and they've never instituted any of the quality of life we asked for, and never instituted any artifact stuff, never instituted any additional endgame or ease of gaining access to characters, or just haven't instituted anything players have been asking for. And instead we just get TCG card updates continuously, right? And the Abyss is the only thing that you have to utilize your characters in difficult to semi-difficult content in Genshin Impact. If they're aware of that and people are speaking out against that, and they're literally taking videos down of these people trying to talk about the issue, as you can see here, this is a pretty big deal because it's not just one thing. Let's get this straight. It's one thing, and this is how I always go. I always give the benefit of the doubt. Always give them benefit of the doubt for a while. We did that around Genshin Anniversary, right? The first one. Everyone wanted to give benefit of the doubt to Genshin. They're a small upfront company that's making $10 billion a day, right? They don't have enough time, right? They allocate their resources into our game, okay? Just give them the benefit of the doubt. We all did that. And even now, it's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they know what's going on. Maybe they're working on a statement about it. Maybe they'll do something, right? Maybe they'll do something. Maybe we'll be okay that way. Maybe this will be the time that they hear it. Literally, like it says over here, this changes literally everything, the meme. Like, this changes everything for me personally too. And this is exactly how I feel, because as far as everyone was concerned, Hoyo was just really bad at communication. We're giving them the benefit of the doubt. But instead, they're showing that they're actively censoring discontent throughout the community. That makes it a completely different story. That means that they know that their audience isn't happy with what's going on, how they're treating their own game. The audience isn't happy with that. Audience wants some things to change. Audience wants the game to flourish with some small, subtle changes. The audience doesn't really feel like they're valued that well. We've talked about this stuff. Your time's not valued with your 45-minute unskippable dialogues. They know. It's not a benefit of the doubt. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they're getting mixed signals, right? Maybe some people are really happy with it. Maybe some people aren't. Maybe I'm in the 10% where maybe 90% of the players are super into the game. They want nothing to ever change. But they know. If this is true, they know. And instead of doing something about it, instead of even just being minorly vocal about it, they're going to be super quiet about it and try to save face by taking down as many negative feedbacks as possible. And we saw this the other day when we were talking about them losing millions of followers on Twitter and stuff, and how you can go and check and track their followers and how it went down. And then there was a giant spike up, and people were doing their due diligence, looking at what are these accounts that are being followed all of a sudden out of the blue. And it's all brand new accounts that are following just one account, and it's following Genshin Impact. And it's always a bunch of random numbers and a couple of letters. And it's following one thing, and it's following Genshin. This is some sneaky garbage. This is some sneaky shit. That's bad. That's terrible. And there's been other allegations before in the past when Genshin first came out about certain creators getting view botted or subscription botted on Twitch or on YouTube. And some creators had very negative, detrimental effects on their channels. Mine for sure. When I started following it and creating Genshin content, I had a big surge until YouTube told me for about there was like a 2-week block where they labeled everything that I had put up, every single view from every single person that found my channel. They labeled every single view as an illegitimate traffic, as a bot. They removed all monetization for my channel and labeled literally everyone as a bot. And I know I wasn't botting my channel. Most of my ad traffic and traffic from the video was actually coming from Google search and external, where people were actively searching for like Noel guides and stuff, finding my channel. All of those things were flagged as invalid. And I would go back and forth, and this has never been solved on YouTube's end to me. But I would go back and look to see where all this traffic's coming from. And it makes sense that traditionally the games and stuff I was covering before didn't have a large audience in the East. There was some, but not as large as when I swapped over to Genshin. And I got a giant influx. We're talking like my audience went from like 7%, right, from China, etc., to like 28%. And everything got labeled as a bot. Now, did I get botted and caught out and my channel destroyed from something like this? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Every time I try to talk to YouTube about it, they won't say anything about it. And they just kind of said, you're kind of shit up the creek. But I only bring that up because it's just too many things that are a little sketchy and weird now, right? We have content being suppressed and taken down now, live, being proved. We have the ability to go and look at the Twitter follower thing and how they were happy to use bots to inflate their numbers again, to make it look like it wasn't as bad as it was. And then we have, back in the day when Genshin was first released, a huge growth, but a lot of people being flagged as botters on their content, on their YouTube content, or on their Twitch content, and being kind of caught up in the crossfire. And this is just sort of by any means necessary. That's why I take this changes everything pretty big because this is the third strike of what seems to be like a by any means necessary take by this company to force their game to look good. I don't know how gaming got here. Instead of just making a good product that would speak for itself, that players would like to enjoy and come back to by their own leisure, it's become this sort of architecture of entrapment for your players, making your players psychologically feel like they need to log into your game every day, spend X amount of time on your game every day, right? Get them involved with buying loot boxes or buying some sort of gacha product every single time they log into your game. It's become this, entrapment's the right word for it, in my opinion. It's like a game. The game itself is to trick your player into spending money, or trick your player into getting the deluxe edition, or trick your player into getting the pre-sold copy. And so while Cloud Retainer is pretty cool, gaming looks pretty awesome, I'm gonna be taking 4.4, I think, a little lackadaisically myself. If you wanna strong arm your community this way, there's only a couple of ways that you can speak back as a community. You can try to create content about it, which we just went over is getting actively shut down, at least on the Chinese version of TikTok, apparently. You can do that yourself, even if you make like a tiny little video or a Reddit post or comment on something down below here or somewhere else. You can thumbs up content like this so the algorithm will be aware that it's a trending topic and maybe we can get somewhere with it. We tried during the first anniversary to vocalize, you know, some feedback. I wouldn't even call it complaints. It was just some feedback. The important thing about the first anniversary drama wasn't really that it was just 10 fates. It was more about like the principality behind how that company is going to view you as a consumer off the get-go. Your first anniversary, that's what they think about you now. What are they going to think about you later? Quality of life didn't get updated in the first 6 months, 12 months, 15 months. If you don't vocalize it as soon as possible, they're not going to, number one, know that you want change. Number two, going to have time to change it. We're 3 years in now, and all of a sudden, everyone wants to vocalize it. The other way I'm going to be able to vocalize it is a lot of us, guess what, gamers? We're a bunch of numbers and statistics to companies, especially gacha game companies. How many times do you log in a week? How much free currency do you spend? How much time do you actively spend on the game, playing the game? All of these things are involved in these games like Genshin Impact or any other mobile gacha game, or any other game that involves microtransactions. And I'm gonna have a video coming out that is a full breakdown of how psychology is used to affect gacha game players. And it's nothing that I came up with. This is not a PowerPoint presentation or anything or that I developed. This is a presentation that's been out for a while. You can go find it. It's called Let's Go Whaling, but I'm gonna be breaking that down. And it's about how companies are literally using a strategic plan to turn a non-paying customer, free-to-play player, possibly just like yourself, into some of the 1% spenders, 0.1% spenders for these games. So if you're looking for stuff like that, that's going to come out in the future. If you want to see more stuff about gacha games in general or Genshin Impact, I don't know what we're going to do because every time I try to cover Genshin anymore on this channel, it's met with literally everything being flagged as a bot in my channel going into oblivion. So until then, guys, have fun out there. All right. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.